Imagine waking up 40,000 years ago. No shower, no soap, no mirror. And yet, somehow, the person next to you doesn't smell as bad as you'd think. Cavemen weren't the filthy, matted hair savages Hollywood loves to show you. Some of them may have actually been cleaner than your average teenager skipping school today. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a caveman the same way again. And trust me, the way they got rid of lice is going to make your skin crawl. Let's go back, way back, to a cave somewhere in what is now southern France, around 30,000 years ago. A small group of early humans huddles near a fire. Outside, it's freezing. Inside, smoke curls toward a low stone ceiling. And one of them, let's call her Lua, is sitting by a shallow pool of water that's trickled in from a crack in the rock, scrubbing her arms with a handful of wet sand. That's right, sand. Long before soap existed, early humans figured out that fine, gritty sand or ash mixed with water could scrub dirt and oil off the skin almost as well as anything we use today. Archaeologists have found evidence that some prehistoric groups deliberately collected fine river sand and stored it near living areas, not for building, but for cleaning. Lua didn't know about bacteria or hygiene science. She just knew that scrubbing felt good, kept her skin from itching, and maybe, just maybe, made her more appealing to the guy 3 caves down who kept accidentally walking past her fire. Now here's where it gets interesting. Water wasn't always nearby. Caves were chosen for shelter and safety, not for plumbing. So when a stream or pool wasn't close, early humans turned to something almost stranger: animal fat. Rendered fat from hunted animals, mixed sometimes with ash, created a crude, greasy paste that could be rubbed onto the skin and then scraped off with a sharp stone or shell. It sounds disgusting, but it worked similarly to an early exfoliant, lifting dirt, grime, and even parasites off the surface of the skin. And speaking of parasites, let's talk lice, because this is the part that's going to make you cringe. Lice were a massive part of prehistoric life. Genetic studies on lice DNA actually show that human lice species began splitting around the time early humans started wearing clothing, suggesting people were dealing with these little hitchhikers constantly. So what did they do? They picked, literally. Grooming each other, picking through hair strand by strand, wasn't just an act of cleanliness. It was a deeply social ritual. It built trust. It built bonds. Some anthropologists believe this kind of mutual grooming may have been one of the very first forms of human bonding, long before language fully developed. Imagine that. The awkward "let me pick lice out of your hair" moment being one of humanity's first love languages. Hair itself tells us a lot. Some cave groups likely used sharpened flint tools to trim hair and beards, not for fashion necessarily, but for practicality. Long hair could get caught on branches, tangled near fires, or grabbed by an enemy, or an angry mammoth, who knows. Trimming it down was survival, not style. Though, who's to say some cave dweller somewhere didn't think a shorter cut made him look more rugged? Teeth were another story entirely, and this one's wild. Researchers studying ancient human remains have found tiny grooves on fossilized teeth, evidence that early humans used thin sticks or grass stems as primitive toothpicks, dragging them between teeth to remove trapped food. Dental plaque analysis from some prehistoric skeletons even shows traces of plant fibers stuck in their teeth, meaning they were chewing on certain plants almost like an ancient version of mouthwash, maybe to freshen breath or soothe sore gums. Yes, cavemen may have cared about their breath. Somewhere out there, a Neanderthal was self-conscious before a date. Let that sink in. Bathing rituals near hot springs may have existed too. In regions with naturally occurring warm water, like geothermal areas in parts of Europe and Asia, there's a real possibility early humans gathered there not just to keep warm, but to soak, relax, and clean off after long hunts. Picture a tired hunter, covered in mud and blood from a long chase, sinking into a steaming natural pool while the sun sets behind jagged cliffs. It's almost poetic, humanity's first spa day, millions of years before anyone invented the word spa, and let's not forget scent. Some researchers believe early humans rubbed crushed herbs, animal musk, or specific plant oils onto their skin, possibly to mask body odor, repel insects, or even signal health and strength to potential mates. In a world without deodorant, smelling slightly less awful than the next guy might have been a genuine evolutionary advantage. So here's the truth. Cavemen weren't filthy brutes stumbling around covered head to toe in mud, completely unaware of hygiene. They adapted. They experimented. They used what nature gave them: sand, fat, ash, sticks, hot springs, and turned it into the earliest versions of the same routines you still use today: scrubbing, grooming, trimming, even caring about how they smelled. So next time you complain about running out of shampoo, just remember, somewhere thousands of years ago a caveman was out there with a handful of wet sand, scraping grease off his skin with a rock, probably hoping he didn't smell too bad for the cave girl next door. Hygiene didn't start with soap commercials. It started in caves, lit by fire, built on trust, grooming, and a whole lot of creativity. Now I want to know, if you had to survive back then with zero modern hygiene products, what's the first thing you'd improvise? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to see what you'd come up with. And if you enjoyed traveling back in time with me today, hit that subscribe button, because next time we're diving into something even wilder: what cavemen actually ate. And trust me, some of it might surprise you more than this video did.